we're going to start seated. So you can take a seat.
I really like your pants. I sound like your pants.
Oh, thanks. And so just find a comfortable spot. Now if you need to sit on a cushion, you're welcome to grab a cushion for yourself. I'm just going to start with some upper body work and kind of work our way down tonight. So just sitting nice and tall, hands on the knees or hands in the lap, whatever is comfortable. Take a moment now, and I just want you to close the eyes. And as you exhale, take a conscious exhalation out through the mouth. And just feel your body kind of decompress, come down a few notches. Maybe swallow to clear the throat. And for the next minute, just solely focus on the exchange of prana, or breath. So on the inhalation, drawing the breath very consciously in through the nose. And then as you exhale, try to pay sole attention to the breath moving back out through the nose, fully and completely, every last drop of breath. And as you inhale again, thinking of your diaphragm like an umbrella, really try to widen your lungs in all directions. And then exhaling smoothly, letting the breath back out again. And just trying to stay as tuned into the body, as tuned into the breath as you can. Creating space for yourself. Now keeping this consciousness, this alertness to the self, to the breath, interlace the fingers and place the knuckles under the chin, 5 rounds of the butterfly breath. Moving with your inhalation, draw the arms open wide, tip the head back till your lungs open, and then exhale, chin towards the chest, elbows towards the sides of the ribs. And then again, inhale, head tips back, relax the shoulders, open your lungs, exhale. And so just do 3 more. And 1 more. Interlacing the fingers at the base of the skull, the occipital bone. Exhale, drop the chin to the chest. And now as the chin drops to the chest, I want you to resist the head back up into the hands, feeling space between the shoulder blades. Really try to relax the tops of the shoulders down. So just noticing any of that held tension that we tend to accumulate through the day. And just working through that tension with a soft inhalation and a very kind exhalation. So not trying to fight the body, but create a kind resistance to create that necessary space. Now as you resist the head into the hands, if you slightly tip the head to the right or slightly tip the head to the left, you may notice that that stretch line kind of shifts or changes on your upper back. So just paying attention, where do I need that space? What feels good? And just trying to create some conscious attention to the body that we're not avoiding, but rather enhancing. Making space where there isn't any. If there's anything that you've been carrying that's heavy on the shoulders, just consciously, as you feel space in your physical body, freeing up that mental space as well. And then hands release back to the knees. Lift the head back up to center. Exhale, tip the head to the left. So head's going to tip to the left. Try to sit nice and tall. Flex through the heel of the right hand. And really think about pressing the right shoulder down. So we have a lot of space between the ear and the shoulder. And then take your free hand and just draw some gentle pressure to the side of the head. So you may feel kind of almost like a tight pinching feeling as that fascia sticks to the muscle. And so again, nice deep breath in, nice deep breath out. Imagine me kind of drawing your shoulder down away from your ear even more. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Notice the mental relationship with that physical tension. And try not to force, but rather welcome in space. Just like before, if you gently tip the head up or down, move the chin in or out, you may feel that that tension can shift. Even if you move the extended arm, pull it back, reach it forward, that may also change where you feel that stretch. We're just going to hold this a few more breaths. I always feel like tension in the shoulders kind of slowly accumulates, and then all of a sudden it's there, and it's like, wow, this is a pain in my neck. And then hands to the knees. Exhale, roll your chin back to your chest. And then inhale, tip the head back up to center. Just give those muscles a chance to relax. And then we're going to go now over to the right. So right ear drops to the shoulder. Reach and flex out through the heel of the left hand. So we're trying to open up that space between the ear and the shoulder on the left side. And then you can take the right hand if you wish and just draw that gentle space. If that's too much for any reason, just use the gravity as you press away. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Reminding yourself that the breath guides you into the movement rather than the movement guiding you into the breath. Deep inhalation and deep exhalation. And then exhale, hands to the knees, roll the chin back to the chest. Opening your mouth, tip your head back, and then once your head is back far enough, close your mouth and think about pushing your bottom jaw forward and up, kind of like an underbite, and really stretch through the front of the neck. You're going to hold that stretch for a few more breaths. Now, if you think about gliding your bottom jaw right to left, you can kind of feel those scalenes on the front of the neck kind of shift and stretch. And it's really kind of the opposite is true. We don't think about like, okay, this stretch is actually going to bring tautness to the neck, but really that extension is what's going to bring that activity back into the neck and into the muscles of the neck. So a good stretch to do regularly. And then exhale, chin comes back to the chest. Take a breath in, and then exhale, roll your head back up on top. Awesome. Let's go into a tabletop. So we're going to face the north wall. Fingertips nice and wide. Folds of the elbows forward. So nice broad back, nice long spine from crown to tail. On the exhalation, curl the toes under. Keep your knees bent at 90 degrees. And lift yourself up into what I call bent dog or bent downward dog. So belly and thighs come pretty close together. You're really exaggerating a generous bend in the knees as you try to press the heels to the floor. And only extend your hips up as high as you can keep that good connection between your belly and your thighs. So inhale through the nose, lengthen through the underarm. Exhale through the nose. Kind of like a squatting dog almost. Inhale through the nose. And then exhale, bring your knees back down to the floor. Bend your elbows. Inhale, cow's pose. Exhale, back into bent knee down dog. So lift your knees, belly to thighs, but hips come towards the sky, head to the floor. Pressing your heels to the mat, try to get into the calves. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Stay in the space of your breath. Try to stay with your body long enough to actually feel the fibers of your skin, of your tissues change and transform. One more breath in. Exhale, knees to the floor, bend your elbows, drop your belly. Inhale, cow's pose. Last time, exhale, bent knee down dog. Belly towards the thighs, hips towards the sky. Really bend the knees and press your heels down. Now, while you're in this bent knee down dog and the heels press to the floor, try lifting your toes off the mat. Even if they don't lift, there's muscles there. So really trying to challenge the foot activity here just a little bit more. Breathe. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, knees to the floor. Bend your elbows. Inhale, cow's pose.
I'm not on that film right now.
And exhale, come back into tabletop. Let's step forward with the right foot. So right foot's going to step forward. Roll the back toes under, lift the knee. Take a small step up with the back foot. Roll yourself up to into a lunge. Arms come up overhead, high lunge. Really focus on squaring the hips and hugging the inner thighs. So try to create that really good lower body strength as you now reach all the way up to the fingertips, palms face in. Drop your shoulders and try to really tone through the arms all the way to the tips of the fingers. Inhale through the nose, press firmly into the front foot. Exhale through the nose. Try to find a focal point now and breathe. Inhaling. And every time you exhale, hugging the inner thighs, think about the lower front belly really coming in and supporting the back body. Awesome. On the next exhale, take a little bit of a step back as you drop the back heel flat and open into warrior two. Lengthen your stride so that the front knee comes over the ankle and the back foot is on an angle. So try not to roll into the ankle, but rather really solidify that back foot to the floor. Now bum comes underneath you. Bend the front knee even more. Challenge your stride length as you reach fingertip to fingertip. Drop your shoulder without pushing the chest out. And once again, find your focal point out over your front fingertips. Awesome. Inhale through the nose. And every time you exhale, try pushing your feet into the floor and hugging your legs together. So there's definitely some inner thigh activity. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Now inhale, front leg lengthens, palms turn up, arms come overhead. You can look towards the palms. And then exhale, draw your arms back out to T. Rebend the knee, warrior two. So we're going to do that 4 more times. Inhale, front leg lengthens. Exhale, drop it out. Inhale, deep breath. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, rise. And exhale. We're going to go 1 more time. Inhale, up. And exhale, warrior two. Front forearm to the thigh. Tuck your back arm behind your spine. No pressure on that bottom arm. Inhale, roll your chest open as much as you can, keeping your glutes contracted. So we're going to try to keep our lower body really stable and really focus on turning at the rib cage, turning at the navel, and turning at the head. Inhale through the nose, press firmly into the back leg. Exhale through the nose. Imagine your glutes hooked to your back heel. So there's almost like a bungee cord really pulling the glutes down and in towards the foot. Inhale through the nose. Now extend your top arm to the sky. And extend the bottom arm to the floor. Press your bottom arm into the front leg. And think about measuring the space in front of you. Inhale through the nose. Lean slightly back. Exhale through the nose. Full breath. Challenge the rotation of the spine. If you're feeling stiff, move into that stiffness with the grace of your breath. On the next inhale, back into warrior two. Exhale, lower the arms down, turn the feet parallel, hugging the inner thighs. Inhale, glide the hips forward as you extend up and back. So a little bit of a groin stretch here. Exhale, hands to prayer. Hinge at the hips, standing straddle forward bend. Relax the head towards the floor and try to keep the hamstrings hugging towards each other. So it's almost kind of by nature in a straddle, we feel the need to kind of splay the sit bones out and really roll the hamstrings away from each other. But we want to honor the sacrum. So I want you to really think about hugging the heels in, hugging the glutes in as you drop the head towards the floor. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Inhale, come up to the fingertips. Let's rotate over to the left. So runner's lunge. Adjust your footing so your feet are hips distance. And then just a tiny micro hop up with the back foot. Roll yourself to standing. Square the hips off. So we're going to try to keep the pelvis stacked. So that means the belly is drawn in. And really focus on the hips staying square. So if there's any tension in the sacrum or lower back, you know that those hips aren't square as you engage. Awesome. Arms reach up overhead powerfully. Drop the shoulders. And even more importantly, relax the front ribs down. So those front core muscles stay connected and stay active in the body. Now reach fingertips to back heel. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Bend the front knee firmly over the front ankle and really push into your front foot so you feel activity underneath that front leg. Inhale through the nose, find your breath, and exhale through the nose. Now on the next exhale, as you drop the back heel flat, just lengthen your stride out a little bit more, warrior two. So try to challenge the space from the front knee all the way to the back knee. Again, glutes come underneath you. Lower yourself down. Feel the challenge of the hips. Stay stacked and upright with your spine. And then reaching wall to wall with the fingertips. Try to keep those front core walls nice and strong. Awesome. Relax the shoulders down. But that doesn't mean that the upper back is just kind of hanging out. I want you to engage the muscles of the upper back in tandem with your front core. Awesome. Exhale, bend the front knee just a little bit more and find a focal point. The body usually can navigate to a point itself, but the mind often needs continual recommitment and encouragement to stay focused and connected. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. We go 3 more breaths. Stay right where you are, Kristen. Looks good. And then you're going to look right at your fingertips. Awesome. There you go. You got it. All right, so here we go. We're going to move down into that lateral angle. So front forearm to the thigh. Tuck your back arm behind the spine. And now inhale. As you roll your chest open, try not to let your front belly drop out. So when those back muscles are really tight, we feel the need to push the belly out. So it gives us that feeling like we can turn open. I'd rather have you meet restriction early and really make it worth your while here. Press firmly into the back leg, minimal pressure on the front arm. Inhale, rolling yourself open. Really feel the top shoulder pull back as far as it can go. Once you feel that you're in as much of an open position as you can, extend the top arm. It's not just there for decoration. The more you reach the top arm, the more you're going to take all those tissues on the side body and kind of take them with. So there's that great stretch. Finally, you can take the front bottom arm and push it into the front leg. Again, measure the space in front of you as you keep turning the heart's eyes towards the sky. Inhale through the nose. You're either looking up, forward, or down. Exhale through the nose. Stay with your breath. Awesome. Inhale back into warrior two. We're going to do those 5 warrior two sequences. Here we go. Inhale, lengthen the front leg. Arms come up. You can look up. Exhale, deepen into your warrior two. Move with your breath. Inhale, rise. Exhale, nice and deep. Inhale. And exhale. Strong back leg. Inhale. And exhale. Keep breathing. Inhale. And exhale. I'm going to go 1 more. Inhale, rise. And this time, exhale, warrior two, pause. Hands to the floor, step back into plank. So fingertips are going to be really wide. Try to stretch out the palm and wrist. Folds of the elbows forward, and as you push down into the floor, you should feel a broadness in your upper back. Now slide your shoulders away from your neck as you keep the front hip bones tipped up and into your belly. So that's almost like an instantaneous core activation. Now reach strategically from your heels to your crown. Knees are always an option. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Exhale, drop your left knee to the floor so that your left wrist, left knee, and left foot all in line with each other. And then take your right arch of your foot. So it's like you're on a little 2x4. Wrist, knee, toes, and arch. Now drop your tail between your legs and think about rolling yourself open into definitely a balancing side plank. Excuse me. Try to press down into all of your top 4 knuckles, because that weight often wants to sit on the heel of the hand, and I want you to try to overcome that and really push into all of your top 4 fingers. Awesome. Now if you really want to go for balance, take your bottom toes and touch your top calf. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Breathe. There you go, nice and slow. Healthy balance. And it might help too because you have socks on. The mat can help you grip a little bit, or if you take your socks off, you're going to have better grip. All right, exhale, roll yourself back down, come find plank. Fingertips nice and wide, wrists under shoulders. Engage your thighs together, and then traction. Reach your crown forward and simultaneously press your heels back. So it's like your body literally is confused. It wants to go forward and it wants to go back. And what's going to happen is that pull that's happening really subtly throughout your whole body is going to make all of those core walls contract and turn on. Awesome. Press away from the mat.
Oh, jeez.
Inhale through the nose. You okay?
I just don't want to be in that video.
Oh, you're not, hon. Just come sit down here. There you go. You can go right there. Yeah. You know what? And I would say either again, if you take these guys off, or if you come on your mat, I'll slide a lot less, so I'll feel better. All right, knees to the floor. Sit back on your heels, forehead to the mat, devotional. Really focus on stretching through your back body. Inhale through the nose, and exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose, and exhale through the nose. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, come back up into tabletop. Now curl the toes under, downward facing dog. So you can come into that bent knee dog if you like that, or you're going to lengthen up through your legs and maybe even walk your dog, alternating lifting one heel, pressing the opposite down, and really again focus on length through your spine. So if you feel a little bit like the hunchback, I want you just to take maybe a small step back with your feet, but then really focus in on bending your knees, and that's going to give you more spinal length. So sometimes those tight hamstrings just kind of take over. Holding your down dog steady now. Inhale, just lift up the right leg towards the sky, and we're going to spin the hip open towards the sky. So you're going to open up your hip and lift the top leg. It's a little bit of a groin stretch here. Now imagine your foot's cut in the cookie jar, and exhale, square your hips down towards the floor. So you're going to try to keep that foot really high. The bottom hamstring is going to get a really big stretch. So hold that 5, 4, keep breathing, 3, 2, 1, lower the foot down. Let's try the same thing on the opposite side. Inhale, leg lifts. You're going to open your hip to start. The leg's going to be able to come pretty high pretty easily. Hold that. All right, now imagine the foot caught the cookie jar. Close the hip down. Try to square it off. Think about keeping the heel high. Hold here. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the foot to the mat. Inhale, knees to the floor. Exhale, sit back on your heels. Devotional. Breathe out. Inhale through the nose, and exhale through the nose. Relax your shoulders, relax into your breath. All right, inhale, rise back up into tabletop. Curl the toes under, back into plank. Lots of length in the body from the crown to the heels. Inhale through the nose, and exhale through the nose. All right, right knee drops to the floor. So your right wrist, right knee, right toes, you're opening towards the back of the room. Fold of the elbow turns towards the fingertips and open yourself up into that side plank variation. So it's kind of like you're trying to do this on a ledge. As you think about that posterior tilt in the pelvis, so that means that the glutes tuck down, which is going to make you feel a little bit more of a stretch in your hips. Think about taking those bottom toes and touching up onto the inside of the calf. It's kind of like a sideways tree pose. Press down into the base hand to really lift yourself away from the floor. So those side body muscles are working really hard. Inhale through the nose. Stay calm with your breathing. And exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose. And then exhale, drop the arm to the floor. Knees to the mat, sit back on your heels, forehead towards the floor, back into devotional pose. Inhale through the nose, try to find your breath. Exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Lengthening the arms as far forward as you can comfortably. On the next exhalation, glide forward across your mat. Drop onto your belly. As you drop onto your belly, nice long spine, I want you to interlace the fingers back behind you, keeping the tops of the feet grounded to the floor. Really lengthen through your toes. Nice deep breath in here, anchor your pubis bone down into the floor. And as you exhale, try to lift smoothly up off the mat. So exhale, just gently picking yourself up off the floor as you pull your knuckles to the wall behind you. So notice if your feet try to flail up off the mat, your body is trying to use more of your lower body strength and less of your back strength to lift you. So I want you to try to keep the feet grounded and really focus on using your back muscles. Keep reaching through the knuckles and draw the eye line more towards the floor than forward. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Stay grounded through the tops of the feet. Stay grounded through the tops of the knees. Breathe. Your back is a part of your core. Keep breathing. Let's go. 5, 4, chest is open. 3, 2, and 1. Hand over hand. Rest your forehead down onto your hands. Nice deep breath in here. Nice deep breath out. Now nice deep breath in. As you exhale, pick your legs up off the mat. They're not going to go very high. I want you to try to keep them parallel. So that means they don't turn out like a dancer. Your knees are going to face the floor. The tops of the feet are going to face the floor. So you're really using your glutes. Now think about your belly that's on the floor. I want you to try to contract that. Relax the shoulders. Inhale through the nose. And comfortably exhale through the nose. So we don't have to go high. I just want you to use the right muscles. Inhale through the nose. Stay committed to your breathing. Exhale through the nose. Exhale, lower the legs down, relax your entire body. All right, keeping your hands glued to your forehead, they're going to stay as is. Nice deep breath in here. You're going to lift your upper body, hands and head, and lift your legs off the floor simultaneously. So deep breath in. Exhale, pick yourself up. So your chest, elbows, head, and legs are lifted. Think about really drawing up through your elbows, kind of like you're on Pinocchio strings. And you're not going to be lifting as high in the chest, but what you are going to be doing is really creating an openness through the shoulder girdle. And that's kind of why we feel that limitation when we lift. So inhale through the nose, drop your shoulders back. Exhale through the nose, reach through the legs as you work, to lift the legs. And exhale, lower back down. Hands under the shoulders, press back onto your heels. Once again, devotional. Rest back and really try to stretch through your arms. So imagine trying to walk your fingertips forward as you simultaneously press your hips back. So there's this constant and continual length that's happening that a lot of times people just rest back into devotional and they just kind of let their body kind of be like a little blob on the floor. I want you to try to create space here. So inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Every moment on our mat is an opportunity for us to check in, to really be present. And oftentimes during the day, we kind of are always escaping ourselves, getting caught up in things, thoughts, outside actions, things that take us away from where we are right now. Yoga is about being in our body, being in our breath, and even being in our thoughts as they ebb and flow. Recognizing that we're not them. Inhale, rise back up to tabletop. Grab hold of your hand weights. So you can grab both, and then I'll kind of show you some options to use them in tandem. So finding a nice tabletop, we're going to float up through the rib cage and lift up through the hip bones. So the core is nice and strong. We don't feel like we're a horse with a saddle. We're definitely more like a coffee table. So you have an option to use one or both weights with that right hand to start. So if you're going to use them in combination, you can just use like an open grip. Or if you're going to use one hand weight, which is just fine, just a loose grip, or open fingertips is totally appropriate. All right, so as you grab hold of the weights with the right hand, try to stay broad in the back and keep the fold of the base elbow pointing forward. When that arm turns in, what ends up happening is we hunch and we try to dominate with our chest muscles, and we kind of lose out on the upper back and the core work, which is what we're trying to get into. So pay attention what that bottom arm does. Keeping a nice neutral pelvis, grab hold of your weight or weights. We're going to move out to T. So inhale, arm opens to T with control, and then exhale, slowly lower it back down again. Inhale, opening it up, arm comes to T, and then exhale, lowering down again. So we're going to go for a minute. Inhaling when you're opening, and exhaling when you're closed. Try to keep the shoulders square with the floor, and notice if you're swinging the weight open, that's usually a sign it's too much weight. And notice if you can be consistent with your breath. Press away from the floor with the base arm. There kind of comes a point as you move through where the base arm is working just as hard, sometimes even harder, than the actual fluid moving weighted arm. So inhale when you open, stabilize with your core, and exhale when you lower down. So we're going to go about 30 more seconds. Just calm with your breathing. Inhale when you open, and exhale when you close. So this is a lot about the obliques, which is definitely a good stability challenge. Inhale when you open, exhale when you close. Try to go 2 more. And last one. Awesome. All right, you're going to switch hands. So fingertips nice and wide. Really try to open the palm. Fold of the elbow forward. Back body is nice and broad. So just that arm rotation as you try to turn the fold of the elbow forward and then you push away from the mat should make you feel really open in that front chest. So once you stabilize the base arm, grab your weight or weights. We're going to go out to T. So we're going to go for a minute again. Inhale, arm opens. And then exhale, slowly closing. Notice that challenge in stability. So do I have to swing the weight open? Am I able to keep it under control? If you just peer off to your side when you open the arm, are you actually opening that T? Or is it kind of down below your shoulder line? Try to really bring it right outside the shoulder. Awesome. And just be consistent with your breath. I see it a lot where people go wrong when they use weight is they're so concerned on moving quickly that they end up using momentum. And what ends up happening then is the body doesn't get to stabilize, and that's really when you challenge those weakest muscles and when you have to stabilize. So sequence yourself with your breathing. About 20 counts. See if we can get 2 more in. 1 more. Nice job. Drop the weights off to the side. Fingertips nice and wide, downward facing dog. Lift the hips, relax the head. Walk your dog if you'd like to, alternating, bending one knee, lifting one heel, and really try to press the heel down and lift the same toes on that foot for a little deeper calf stretch. Nice deep breath in, nice deep breath out. All right, settle your dog down again. Inhale, right leg rises. We're going to open the hip just like we did before. So the hip's going to open, which makes it, again, feel like the leg can lift fairly easily. Hold that stretch. Try to even your weight between the arms. Hold 3, 2, 1. Now keep the foot in the cookie jar. Try to square your hips down as much as you can. Hug the inner thighs. Hold it 3, hold it 2, hold it 1. Inhale, open the hip back up again. Try to keep the weight even on the shoulders. It's a big upper body challenge. Exhale, keep the foot in the ceiling and square it off. Hold 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, high to the ball of the base foot. Really lift the heel. And now step your top foot forward. Runner's lunge. If you need to, use the hand for help so you can get the front foot completely flat to the floor. Awesome. All right, drop the back knee to the mat so that your back knee is underneath its hips. So you kind of look like you're a square, or the front knee is at a right angle and the back knee is at a right angle. Awesome. All right, now left hand to the floor. Wrist and ankle are parallel. Take your right hand, which is the hand closest to me, and place it on the thigh. Inhale, press yourself open into that twist. So you're going to try to stack your shoulders, top on bottom, and then eventually take your top arm all the way up to the sky. So now switch that, Crystal. Bring this leg forward. There you go. You're doing great. So the bottom arm is kind of that predeterminer here to give you a better stretch. So I really want you to push into the bottom arm and try to rotate your chest open even more. Awesome. Imagine your bottom inner shoulder is like a magnet to your inner front knee. So as we twist, we're actually trying to come a little closer towards the front leg. Let's go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, lower the top arm down. Step forward, standing forward then. Relax the head towards the mat. Shake out the head, release the shoulders. And maybe even just double check. Are my feet actually parallel with each other? Is one foot further forward than the other? Can I even that out? Does that change the sensation? Bend your knees deeply. Roll yourself up. Glide your pelvis forward. Extend yourself up and back. Extension. Exhale, bring your hands to prayer. Awesome. Let's go back into that extension. Inhale, bend your knees as much as you need to. Exhale, drop it down, standing forward bend. Awesome. Inhale, bend your knees back into plank. Open up the fingertips wide. Folds of the elbows forward. Slide your shoulders back. Reach from your crown to your heels. Keep pressing away from the mat. Feel free. Knees are there if you need them. Keep breathing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Relax the head between the hands. Open your palm even wider. You got this. Let's go with the left leg this time. Inhale, left leg rises. Open your hip up as the foot lifts even higher. Hold 3, hold 2, hold 1. Now try to keep the foot lifted as you square the hips off. Really challenge the bottom hamstring and glute. Hold 3, hold 2, hold 1. One more time. Inhale, open. Keep the bottom leg nice and steady. Breathe. Next exhalation, square the hip down, even the weight through the arms. Hold that 3, hold that 2, hold that 1. Now high to the ball of the bottom foot. Roll the top leg through until the foot is completely flat to the floor. So if you need to, use your hand to kind of step the foot up. Awesome. Drop the back knee to the mat so that the knee is underneath the hip. So you have this really kind of shortened stride. Take your right hand to the mat. Fold of the elbows forward so my bottom arm is nice and secure. You're going to turn away from me. Left hand to the left thigh. Nice deep breath and push into your thigh as you roll yourself open into a revolved lateral angle variation. Yep, you're doing great. Yep. So you're going to bring this on all the way up. There we go. All right, eventually you can take the top arm all the way to the sky. So imagine if I was sideways, The idea is that I'm pushing through my bottom arm to kind of try to open up and even out the upper back. So all those muscles between the shoulder blades now are working really hard to pull apart. Nice deep breath in, push down into the base arm. Nice deep breath out. If your body's starting to have a little bit more pliability, feel free, the bottom arm may feel more comfortable a little closer to the foot. So the spine is constantly revolving as you push. I'm going to use the word forcefully. Forcefully into the floor with the bottom arm. Really bring some energy in. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Let's go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, drop it down. Step forward, standing forward bend. Even out the feet. Inhale through the nose. Bend and straighten the legs a few times if you need to. Exhale through the nose. Catch your breath. Come back to your body. Bend your knees, roll it up. Inhale back into that extension. So pelvis comes forward, you reach back. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Awesome. Grab your hand weights. All right, so you're going to step onto the mat. And let's open the legs into a straddle. All right, so legs are going to open into a straddle. And let's start out by turning out with the right toes. The right toes are going to turn out. Line up the outer edge of the foot with the outer edge of the mat. And then turn your back foot. Remember, the heel is always a better anchor than your pinky toe. So you want to anchor into the heel of the foot without rolling into the foot. So that means the bottom of the foot has to really be plugged down, which may be some good work for the ankle itself. All right, level your hip, open them up towards me. Exhale, bend the front knee, and then check your stride. The front knee is always over the ankle. So sometimes we start with a too small of a stride. Sometimes our stride's a little too ambitious. So feel free to check that out. And then pelvis is nice and neutral. Bring your glutes underneath you. They're the foundation of your house. They don't do you any good behind you. I want you to bring them underneath you. You're doing good. Yeah.
Shaking like crazy.
Using those muscles, you're doing a great job. If you feel like you're slipping, come back onto your mat.
I'm not slipping, I'm just shaking.
Okay. All right, arms are going to open to T. Palms are going to face me. So now as you feel the upper back work, I want you to really stay connected that the rib cage isn't flaring out. So keep your front core, in the sense, kind of locked down. And as you do that, we're going to work double arm hammer curl. So exhale, curl in, make a muscle in your upper back. Inhale, extending arms out without pushing your chest out. So exhale, curl, and inhale, extend. Awesome. Exhale, curl, and inhale, extend. Great. Exhale, curl, and inhale, extend. We're going to try to go for a minute. Part of the challenge, though, is your body has to grip a lot more when you're on the slippery floor. You're going to feel a little bit more comfortable when you're on the mat. There you go.
I'm still shaking.
The muscles are working. You're doing a good job.
It's scary.
Keep breathing. Think about your back body sliding right down the wall without pushing the chest out. Elbows stay lifted, shoulder level. I'm going to go about 20 more counts. Exhale when you curl. Inhale when you extend. You're doing a good job.
I don't get why my legs are
So you can straighten up that leg. Just let both your legs be long. There you go.
Oh, I was jumping.
That's okay.
Is that normal?
If you're doing okay, your muscles are being challenged. This is a good variation. All right, one more. Exhale when you curl. Inhale when you extend. Lower the arms down. Straighten the front leg. Bring the feet parallel. Down into straddle. So weights to the mat. This time, clasp the hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers. A little chest expander. If you feel a little unstable, hands stay on the mat. Lean forward towards the balls of your feet. And now try to activate your thigh muscles. So trying to really protect the knees. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Lower the arms down to the mat. Grab hold of your weights. Roll yourself up. And now we're going to turn out with the left foot. So left toes are going to turn out. Line up the outer edge of the foot with the outer edge of the mat. Kick your back heel out so you have that angle on the foot. Level hips. Exhale, bend the front knee. So you're pushing strong into your front leg. So there's just kind of sinking to the floor, and I want you to think about stamping your front foot into the mat, which is going to make all the underside leg muscles contract. All right, glutes are underneath you, front ribs are down, arms open to T, palms face me. So upper back contracts as you keep the front rib cage from flaring. We're going to go for a minute. Exhale, double arm hammer curl. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curl. And inhale, extend. If you feel shaky, just like put up that front leg again.
It's
Okay?
just this one.
Okay. It'll balance you out though. If you feel like it's going to be too much, just lengthen that front leg. Exhale when you curl. Inhale when you extend. Keep breathing. Every time you exhale, think about gathering all of your core strength from the bottom of your body into the front core. So really keep the core muscles supporting you. Exhale when you curl. Inhale when you extend. We're going to go about 15 counts. Just stay consistent with your breath. Your breath is your guide here. Let's get 2 more in. Last one. Exhale, lower the arms down, runner's lunge. Let's step it back into plank. Fingertips nice and wide. Drop to your knees if necessary. I want you to feel strong. Inhale through the nose, press away from the mat. Exhale through the nose. Let's go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees to the floor, sit back on your heels. Forehead towards the floor. Try to focus on that underarm length by keeping your arms reaching forward as you simultaneously pull the shoulders back. Now breathe. Inhale, open the back body. Exhale, try to relax your hips. Even if the hips don't touch the heels, totally irrelevant. I want you just to think about continuously relaxing your body. Okay. Take a moment here and just let the head roll side to side. It's a nice little release for the neck. And then as you steady your head back at center, deep breath in. And exhale, glide back out onto your belly. So nose, chin, and chest come across the mat. Relax onto the floor. Hands come back behind, interlace the fingers. Keep the tops of the feet glued to the floor. Legs feel very parallel. Press your pubis bone down towards the mat. And on a nice exhalation, knuckles pull back, shoulders roll open, back muscles contract. So try to keep the back of the neck long, and as you pull back to lift up, notice if one side of your back feels like it's contracting more than the other. See if you can just slightly back off on that stronger side, or even slightly turn the torso ever so slightly to turn on that weaker side. Inhale through the nose, and exhale through the nose. If you can't breathe, you're too deep. Exhale, lower down, hand over hand, forehead rests on the hands. Relax your shoulders, take a moment. Keeping your legs parallel. Again, we're trying not to turn them out like a dancer pose. As you exhale, lift your thighs up off the mat. So tops of the feet, knees, thighs, all try to lift. We're trying to zone into the hamstring and the lower glute muscle. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Spread your toes and press through the balls of the feet. Awesome. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Now while you're lifted, you are going to rotate your thighs out and flex your feet. So kind of like a duck-footed position. We're going to bring the legs together 20 times. So from the thigh to the heel. Here we go. Exhale, squeeze together. 1, 2, 3. Just keep breathing. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now it's going to go double time. Here we go. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax the legs. Soften the body. Breathe.
All right, last time, nice deep breath in, legs stay parallel. Lift the hands, head, chest, and legs. Exhale, pick it up. Hands glued to the forehead, elbows lift to the sky. Let's hold here and breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down, hands under the shoulders. Press yourself back towards your heels, devotional. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Now as you sit back, walk your arms to the right and press your hips off your left heel and try to open up your side body as you stretch into the lower back. Now use your breath to make space where there isn't any. Inhale, come to center, and do the same thing to the opposite side. So hips are just going to slide off the heel, and arms are going to reach off to the left. Kind of use your hands glued to the floor. Relax your shoulders. Open your side body. Nice deep breath in. Nice deep breath out. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, back up into tabletop. Curl the toes under, downward facing dog. Press away from the mat, relax the head. Open your hand nice and wide. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. Lifting your left leg. Inhale, left leg comes up. We're going to stick it in the ceiling again. So open your hip. A little bit more of an inner groin stretch there. Now keep the foot high. Try to square the hip down. Challenge the hamstring. Really try to even out the shoulder weight. Hold 3. Hold 2. Hold 1. High to the ball of the base foot. Step it through. Runner's lunge. Bring the foot forward with your hands if you need to until that foot is completely flat to the floor. Awesome. Back heel drops flat. Grab your hand weights. Roll yourself up back into warrior 2. So check your footing. So my front foot is facing straight forward. Your back foot is at an angle. Neutral the pelvis again. Lower into that warrior 2. Awesome. Arms are going to come in front. Palms face your pelvis. Try to stay nice and upright. Tricep side kick. Inhale, arms are going to kick out to T, a little bit higher than shoulder level. Exhale, lower down. Awesome. Inhale. And exhale. Firm up through the back thigh. Challenge your warrior 2 stride. Use your breath. Inhale to strike out. As you exhale, think about hugging your legs together as though they're magnets. Use your breath. Go up 15 more counts. Just keep breathing. Last one. Nice job. Lengthen the front leg. Feet are going to turn parallel. We're going to go right to the opposite side. So toes turn out. Level your hips. Back foot's at an angle. Glutes are underneath you. Bend the front knee. So warrior 2. This time your palms are going to go forward. They're not going to quite come together on the downswing. But inhale, arms at the center are going to come up to shoulder level, and then exhale, kick forward. Inhale, and exhale. So a little bit more about the bicep now. Inhale, and exhale. Nice and tall with the spine. Inhale. Try to keep your arms plugged back into their sockets. So on that outswing, try not to have kind of an overstretched joint. Keep the arms plugged in. So it's going to feel like the upper back is always kind of engaging together. Inhale when you open, and exhale when you drop. Just let that leg be long now. Yeah.
I hope it gets better.
It does get better. You're doing a great job.
Keep breathing. Just be consistent with the breath. Focus on the inhale. Focus on the exhale, about 10 counts. Last one. And exhale, lower down, runner's lunge. Step forward, standing forward bend. Even out the feet, relax out the head, shake it out. Inhaling, and as you exhale, feel the belly kind of draw up even more to the back body, trying to make some good space in the lower back. All right, bend the knees, slowly take it to the mat. And as you come down to the mat, you're going to need your AccuBack, so bring that within an arm's reach. And just bring yourself all the way onto the floor and give yourself a nice hug, knees into the chest. Once you give yourself that nice hug, drop your feet to the mat. Arms reach overhead, let the back arc. So try to really get into the lower back here. Inhaling, really inflate the lungs, exhaling. And then once you've created that space, arms come back down to the sides and just re-broaden your upper back and try to create what's called neutral pelvis. So that means your pubis bone and your hip bones are parallel with the ceiling, so you have that nice little curve in your back. Take your right leg straight up to the sky, give the ankle a nice roll, little snap, crackle, pop. And then cross your right ankle over your left knee. When you're ready, draw the legs up and towards you, figure 4 stretch. So your right arm is going to lace right through the opening that your right leg has made for yourself. And as you draw the legs in towards you, I want you to simultaneously try to press your hips back down onto the floor. Now you can either hold on to the left shin or the left hamstring, whether it's personal preference or maybe your arms are long or short. And as you draw the bottom leg in, you're going to start to feel a stretch on your right hip. Now I want you to push your hips down so your pants touch the floor again. Keeping a really open chest, relax your shoulders. Maybe use your right elbow and press your right thigh away. So there's resistance in this stretch. As you pull in, you're also pushing out. This is what's called an active stretch. So the muscles are actually supporting you as they simultaneously are trying to create space. It's a really great, healthy way to work in a joint. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Imagine your tailbone uncurling towards the floor. Your lower back is trying to bring its arch back into its lower lumbar as you draw the leg in and press the sacrum down. You may not have to go far to feel something rich. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Now exhale, slowly release the leg. Arms are going to open to T, palms face up. Keep the right ankle on the left knee, but walk your left foot to the left side of the mat. So you're going to have kind of this off-putting stride. Exhale, drop the knees to the right. So the left knee falls in. So go that way with your legs. There you go. And the right knee falls out. The left lower back really arcs away from the floor. Now turn the head to the left. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. Maybe even just close the eyes so your mind stays circulating solely on your body. You stay in your breath. Inhaling, and on the exhale, really feeling the body just slowly start to decompress.
And then back up to center. Uncross the legs. You may have to readjust the hips if you feel a little crooked. And then the left leg comes up to the sky, roll the ankle. Cross the left ankle over the right knee, figure 4. So the left arm's going to go through the opening, and you're going to grab for the right hamstring, that's the lower leg, or you're going to grab for the right shin. Flex the feet. As you exhale, slowly start to bring the leg in.
Scroll down and take this one. And start go through here and then grab. Yeah, you got it.
Feels awesome.
Doing a great job.
Thanks, Hope.
All right, try to relax the shoulders back. Think about creating a lot of space in the chest. Inhale through the nose, give a little flex to the feet. Exhale, remember, so as you try to bring that lower leg in, you're going to simultaneously try to press your hips back down onto the floor. So what you're trying to do is make really deep space in the hip socket. Inhale and exhale. Keep your breath fluid to keep space coming into the body. And if you'd like to, the left elbow is going to push the left thigh away as you simultaneously press the hips down and bring the leg in. Breathe. Your mind wanders away, just come back to the body. Come back to the sensations, come back to your breath. All right, release the leg, but keep the ankle on the knee. Arms are going to open to T. Walk your right foot to the right side of the mat. Drop your knees to the left. So the left knee falls out, the right knee dives in. Let the right hip and glute exaggerate their lift off the floor. And then pick up your head and rotate it to the right so you're looking towards your feet side. Yep, there you go. Inhale through the nose. Relax the glutes and let gravity weigh down on you every time you exhale. Keep breathing. Notice the mental relationship with the physical body. Offer gratitude for your body. Be compassionate. Slowly bring the legs back up to center. Gently uncross the ankle and just give the knees a nice little hug again. Stretch out the lower back. Some new space. And then exhale, lower the feet to the floor. So you have your AccuBack, this big log thing. And one side has kind of knobbies on it and the other side is flat and smooth. So I want you to focus on the knobby side. And you're going to take that knobby side and find your jaw, so where your mandible and maxilla meet, so the upper and lower jaw. And like you would turn a doorknob or draw with a paintbrush, a circle, you're going to choose either one of those stroking movements, and you're going to massage your jaw. Yep.
I've never seen one of these before.
And so just really relax the jaw.
What's that?
I'm going to use this guy. Yep. And so all those little acupressure points are just going to kind of dig in to those tighter tissues. So again, you can either do the turn the doorknob, or if you're going to do the paintbrush stroke, I really want you to think about kind of pulling the skin
which is going to access those fascial layers. It's not uncommon to feel almost like a very dull pinching sensation, and that's those fascial layers stuck together. The jaw is directly linked to the hips, so tension in the jaw, things like TMJ, jaw clenching, teeth grinding, are all the body's way to try to create balance due to tightness in the hips, especially that psoas or that front hip flexor. So nice deep breath in, and just nice deep breath out. If you're doing what I call the paintbrush circle move, I want you to really think about pulling down from the ear when you circle, and really try to get into the jaw and into the temporal lobe, which is kind of right up and over the ear. And then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. And so you're going to either do that kind of doorknob move, brush move, or just try to keep the jaw really relaxed. And so you can put as much or as little pressure as you like. And then just gently release. You can drop the AccuBack off to the side. Let the legs lengthen out. Reach the arms overhead. And as you full body stretch, open your mouth as wide as you can. Almost like you're yawning. And then take that open mouth really wide and turn it almost into kind of like a letter O. And then the letter E, really pull the cheeks wide. And then softly relax the face again, lowering the arms down to your sides. Try to find a comfortable place for your body in the mat. Hopefully noticing that the bottom jaw kind of almost hangs down away from the top jaw automatically. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose.
Relax your breath. And as you exhale, just feel your body physically just drop into the floor. Slowly bring life back to your body again. On the inhalation, just reach the arms overhead. Stretch from your fingertips to your toes. And then exhale, bringing the knees into the chest. Give yourself a gentle hug. When you're ready, roll yourself up to a seated position. Bring your hands to your heart. Gently bow the head. And just offer out a little compassion for the evening, a little gratitude. Knowing that we always get exactly what we need. Trusting in the breath. And trusting in that practice of connecting to the breath. So until I see you again, which I hope is soon, take the practice of breathing, conscious, active breathing as you move back into your everyday lives. From my heart to yours, from my soul to yours, until I see you again, which I hope is soon. Namaste.
Namaste.